Alright, know these before moving to the UK. First thing, we say alright about many things. It can be a greeting, maybe it means that things are not alright, but we will find out. So, first of all, we have the NHS, the National Health Service, and they are known for being very slow with everything, and you don't get to see a doctor or any appointment or anything, so don't expect that. But it is for free, and many people praise it on being free. So that's one benefit to it. I There are so many things it can go. You could talk for hours about this, but generally, don't be expecting your free taxed money public healthcare to be very effective for you. Probably private is better if you have a serious problem, or you call 999 with your emergency. And some people do it. They call this number without an emergency because it's the only way you're getting seen. So okay. And the next one is pubs, and you should know that British people love pubs. And it's a big focus. Look at this guy in the back. He knows. He's always looking at you. He's the guy who's looking at you in the pub all the time for no reason because he's in there 24/7. And they love to do quizzes in pubs. People have pub quizzes, they have music sometimes, a place just to socialize with the local community. And people will often ask you maybe about a pub, or do you want to come to the pub, or anything. And it's really bad because it's like an alcohol focused thing, and of course, alcohol is not good for us in general, but that's the way British people have made things to be. So be careful of the pubs. And the next one is queues. Another thing, maybe it's a stereotype, but it's true that everything you will be queuing for, if you're in the supermarket, you're waiting for a bus, you are waiting for the train, kind of queuing here. Anything you can think of in the doctors, in anywhere, you will be queuing, and it's a polite way of how people do things here. And it's pretty annoying sometimes, especially when you have a very slow person and they're just doing some ridiculous things, asking too many questions, and the queue's not moving, and you get angry. So be aware of those. Then the accents in the UK. So the accents, there are so many, as you should know. And this video decided not to play, so that was great. So if you go somewhere like Liverpool, Manchester, it's going to be so different to London or Bristol maybe, or anywhere that you can think of. And of course Scotland, we have Northern Ireland. So yeah, you need to watch out for those. Wherever you are moving to, you might want to learn more about that specific accent, which you can find online in some different websites. They have accent archives. I think there is one called that, and you can hear accents from that region, but they are quite old, so it's changed a little over the last few years. But yeah, so you want to be aware of that. Not everyone speaks standard. And we have weather, the famous weather. It's not as bad as people say and what they think, to be honest, because it does rain, but right now, as I look out the window, it's not raining and it's sunny. So the weather is okay, but you should be definitely preparing for rain when you come, and you should be bringing clothes and footwear, especially to survive the puddles on the floor, because everywhere you walk, you're going to find different puddles on the grass, on the pavement, and sometimes they're very dirty water from who knows what. And yeah, be aware of that. You might get 3 months of sun or 2 months of sun in the year, and meaning warm sun, like 20 degrees, 25, if you're lucky. So you probably want to go abroad instead. And cost of living, a major, maybe one of the biggest topics right now in the country. That's nobody has money. Inflation is going up more than wages, and for the general person, they cannot do anything with their money apart from just live their life. Like if you want hobbies, or you have something to do that costs money, you want to go somewhere, you're probably not going, unless you are above low class, or not low class, that sounds a bit offensive, let's say working class, or if you're in this range, you're probably going to have a cost of living problem. Or if you're a student and you don't have a lot of money behind you, you probably will have a cost of living problem too, and nobody goes out anymore. Nobody, to, let's say, bars or even pubs. Really, the prices are too high for most people, and they are empty, and they're all closing down. That's what I've seen in recent times too. That many nightlife places, they close down, and they're being replaced by apartment buildings, by offices, things like this. So your social life here may not be that great if you want to pay for something, but you can always go for a nice free walk in nature which doesn't involve alcohol, and you're going to be fine. So that's it. Okay, and food, look at this in the background. The food that you definitely do not expect when you think of the UK, probably, if you're not from here. We love awful food that's going to taste good, and especially Asian influenced. And this, if you want to consider Asian or not, we love kebabs and doner kebabs, which you might find also a big influence in a country like Germany. And of course, it's like a Turkish theme, and we have many Turkish, Indian, and I would say these are the main two, Turkish and Indian food places, and Chinese also. So if you're looking for those cuisines, you don't need to worry. You're going to find them everywhere. In pretty much any, even some small towns and villages, they will have an Indian restaurant. It's pretty unique, I would say. And of course you have your fish and chips and so on. But the British food itself is not really big here. People prefer foreign foods, but if you want a traditional British breakfast, you can find that very commonly in many places. Okay, and politeness, always saying sorry. She knows right here. Everyone is very polite, but at the same time they are not. So people say sorry as a habit. They might apologize. They might ask you so many questions like, can you please do this, or could you do this? But in their head, they're probably hating you, and they probably are not very happy. So it sometimes feels like fake politeness, but sometimes people are genuine. So they will be saying sorry for, even instead of excuse me, if you want to go past someone, they might say sorry, can I pass, and so on. So yeah, be aware of that. Public transport, we already have a cost of living crisis. If you thought it couldn't get any worse, then public transport is there for you. So the trains, they are very expensive. I wish it was like Luxembourg, for example, where public transport is for free, but not here. If you want to take a train, you need to pay the same as your rent, pretty much, to go across the country. So 1 month's rent will get you a train journey. So yeah, be aware of that. And I would recommend taking coaches more than trains if you want to travel to different cities. Of course, it takes longer, but it's much cheaper, sometimes even 10% of a train price. An example from maybe Manchester to London can cost you £100 to just travel one way, which is crazy. I think even more it could be sometimes. A lot of people, yeah, they would choose to take a coach if they're going to do anything. Even flying on a plane can be cheaper than the train, which is just insane. So yeah, be aware of that. The buses are fine too, they're quite cheap. And multiculturalism, you should know that nowadays the UK, especially in the big cities, there are people from all different types of countries. You'll find pretty much any, maybe more than 150 countries in any major city, I would say, or ethnicities or backgrounds. And we have a big multicultural way of living. But yeah, if you go to a small village or small town, it may not be so multicultural. You might stand out a bit if you're not from here. Even me, I stand out because of my skin color, I would say. So in some places it's not so multicultural, but yeah, if you stay in the medium and large cities, it's just a normal thing to be from anywhere. Okay, and you're still not ready. You're still not ready, unfortunately, to visit the UK or to live in the UK, because there are so many things that you just not be ready for when you get here. It could be, as they say, culture shock, but I don't think culture shock. It's more just it's quite similar to many other places. It's just the things I mentioned. Most of it is focused on money, as you've probably seen. That's The economy is pretty bad right now, and it's in a recession also. Recession meaning that it's going backwards, really. We could, in a short way, the economy is going backwards, or that income is not so high, debt is very high, and people are not able to afford things. The house prices are quite high, and so on. So you'll find out when you get here, pretty much. But yeah, if you enjoyed this one, then let me know, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.